everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Shoe Podcast, the only sneaker podcast with a new rug. I'm your co-host, Ryan Landry.
I'm your co-host, Tanner Young. Speak on that.
We got a new rug. It just came in today. It's not set up properly because it's a bigger one now, and it's one where we got to lift the couch to get it under, and I just couldn't do it all by myself. So this weekend we'll get it right. But yeah, a new rug.
There you go.
Yeah.
Living room rug. Are we going? We got a typical rectangular shape, or you want funky shape?
Typical rectangular shape. I wanted something a little bit more modern. Amanda wanted something a little bit more traditional. So we kind of compromised and got something a little bit more traditional that's a little more weathered finish to it.
Okay.
So
I'm very interested. I had no idea that we had a new rug.
I know. Well, I saved it for the show. We talked about the boring stuff before the air, both of our lives, work, everything like that. But the big news, the rug, that's for the people. The people get that content.
That's kind of where the week has been, where I hear my buddy got a new rug. I'm like, oh, wait.
Speak on that. Speak on that real quick. Yeah.
We'll get to the topics later.
I know. I thought about saying the only sneaker podcast to be name dropped in the Kendrick and Drake beef, but then I was like, it seems like they're trying to put that whole thing to bed right now. But you know,
well, you would hope so.
Yeah,
at least one of them would.
You know, well,
Islands.
Thank you, everyone, for checking out another episode of Shoe Podcast. Wherever you are listening, make sure you hit that follow button. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. It's a great time to mention we are a video podcast. So you can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on Spotify. You can't watch it on Apple Podcasts. But if you want to see our beautiful faces, that's the way to do it. And today we are here for a very special episode because it is, it's drum roll, but I'm not actually going to do it. So I don't want like shaking the ears. It's our 5-year anniversary. Yay. 5 years. Wow. The big 5, everybody. Last year for our 4-year, I did a whole bunch of visuals and birthday candles and everything like that. But this year, as you said, not this year, just this week. It's been a week. It's been a week, everyone. So, I will say that at the top of the episode, this is probably, I wouldn't call it a kitchen sink. I wouldn't call it a garbage disposal. But it's going to be a very casual episode, I would say. There's not going to be, I'm not planning a bunch of visuals. There's not really a formal structure around this other than typically when we do our anniversary episodes, we just look back on last year, episodes we put out, big moments for the podcast, stuff like that. So that's kind of what we'll be talking about tonight.
I like it.
Okay, good. I was hoping you would like it. I was watching your reaction there very closely. I was waiting for you to go, let's not do that. And then I'd be like, all right, thanks everyone and we just roll the outro right then and there.
Blow out the candles.
Yeah. So
I asked for Transformers, not this other stuff, Meemaw.
You remember when
I couldn't think of a Transformers
Lego and Mega Bloks would probably have been a good analogy, you know?
Yeah. You remember the show where it was like the robots, but they were animals? Can't remember though. Xenomorphs, maybe
not Animorphs. Animorphs weren't robots.
No, it was like Xenomorphs. No, is that the alien from Alien?
Someone leave a comment down below. Let us know what is the show he's thinking of.
Call up Ben Baker. He probably knows. He knows what I'm talking about. I guarantee
1,000% knows what we're talking about now. Yeah.
Anytime I go to him. Shout out the boys.
Shout out Coffin Cutter Radio. Y'all go check them out.
Yo, tune in.
We're gonna have them on the show sometime.
Absolutely.
So, man, season 5 was last year, 2023. We always do our episode, both ideas, and then whenever we're done with them in a Google Doc. So I figured we could just kind of scroll through the season 5 episodes, Google Doc, talk about some of the episodes, the ones that kind of, that we remember that are memorable, big moments, stuff like that.
Oh,
and
yes.
Right from the top, right from the rip, first episode we did season 5, big one, because as some of you will remember, if you're new here, you might not know, last year was the year we officially changed to Shoe Podcast.
What? That's crazy.
That
seems like such.
It was only 1 year ago we changed the name of the show. We changed the social handles a while ago. For those of you who are new here, we used to be called State of the Shunion, which was funny.
You're welcome.
And it was good. But eventually,
it was hilarious.
Eventually, we changed the social handles, right? Because it was hard to get people to spell State of the Shunion. And then, so we were called State of the Shunion, but the social handles were at Shoe Podcast, and it was shoepodcast.com. We were like, that's way easier. And then just after a couple of years, we were like, you know how people don't like spelling it? It turns out it's also kind of a mouthful to say. So what if we just called ourselves Shoe Podcast? And we've been, I think since season 2, kicking that idea around of like, maybe we should just rename. We talked about it for years, but.
Okay. That might be why it seems such a longer. I was like, that seems crazy. To be fair, I don't know. I don't know how sold I would have been 5 years ago with the text instead of it being like State of the Union of like Shoe Podcast. To be fair, I probably still would have been like, that's hilarious in itself just because it's so easy of a name.
Yeah. Yeah.
But State of the Union was hilarious. And then
we had a good run.
Like, how do you spell it? And I also don't know how to spell it.
And he's on the show and it's like,
yeah. Like, if you just do State of the Shoe, it should get you to us.
You should be able to auto-complete that sentence. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah. So
I'll let you figure it out.
Officially launched the name Shoe Podcast. And we also launched our TikTok channel just last year, which you've been doing a stellar job on. For everyone who doesn't know, I do not have a TikTok, not even a personal one. So it was probably the last one that we got on, because I was like, I need you to do this because I don't know how to do this. But you've been doing a great job over there. We'd kind of mentioned trying to learn like social medias and stuff like that. So trying to learn how much to put and like how to do it. I know you said like it's fickle.
What is it? Not the bios, the description. The description is, I think, what sometimes can make or break.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to double post and have no description, like literally just nothing, and then one that has like something like written out about, and just just
A/B test a little bit.
Yeah, you never know.
Okay, take a shot at it sometime.
Yeah, I'll see.
All right. So let's see. I think those were like the big notes from the first episode we did.
I don't know. I mean, we close. Right there, it does say merch ? And
we talked about maybe doing merch. We didn't drop merch last year though.
No. Close to 5.
Close, yeah. And then more interviews. I don't think we did more than usual, but I think we did 5 last year, which we'll talk about as we go through here. So a good number of interviews.
I agree.
Let's see. The next episode, I don't know that there's going to be much to recap here. The Mischief Big Red Boot taking over social media. So that would have been, when did this come out? Mid-February.
February?
Yeah, February 2023. The Air movie, which you still have not seen.
No.
You should check it out.
Still
Good
have
movie.
not.
Good movie.
That's what I hear. I hear a lot of people say for I can't remember the category that they put it in.
Yeah.
But it's very much like the Facebook, BlackBerry,
right.
Start of a company movie, and they said it's pretty good.
It is good.
It was
worth watching. So, Mischief Big Red Boot, Air movie, and Super Bowl 57 footwear, which, at this point now, it's like nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, a big moment. March sneaker releases. Nothing on this list particularly a year later. I mean, well, it's funny I say that. Oh, no, that's February. No, March last year was the Tiffany Air Force One, the Nike SB, Jordan 4 Pine Greens, and the Air Max Day Big Bubble. So actually a lot of last year's sneakers of the year.
Pretty big.
Kind of all came out in March. Yeah, early in the year peak.
Yeah.
2023. Let's see. Can sneaker stores handle first come, first serve releases? So that was in the wake of the Ruckus Jordan 4 SB release, which what a day that was.
No.
What a time that was. Yeah. Well, I think we landed on like they could, but it's not practical and probably like it wouldn't make financial sense. All the hoops they'd have to jump through to make it go smoothly,
Very true. Yeah, very true.
Yeah. So, man, what a time that was. That was so funny because like we might be like telling stories we've already told here before, but like I so specifically remember for that event, I was like, I'm not going to ask any of the guys at Ruckus if like I can go in and like, because I went there trying to get a pair. Like I went to go line up, but I was also like, I'm going to bring my camera. I'm going to just get footage of the day and release and everything like that. And I was like, but I want it to be from the perspective of like someone who just went and lined up and everything like that. And I remember like after getting just like completely drenched and then the line going to just absolute hell, being like, I should have just hit up the guys instead of like, I could have gone inside and like filmed everything and then just got footage of the line from it. I was like, I should have just like tried to work the event more so. But
I think now
mm-hmm.
we're maybe more at that. But I mean that I think helps with you going to that event.
Mm-hmm.
The Bruce Works event that you know that we were kind of a part of, Voodoo Vintage, you know, the thrift. So I think doing more events has, I think, kind of made that a little bit easier to be like, hey, I want not special treatment in the sense of like, I want shoes, but also I'm like, hey, I want to get some pretty good content.
Yeah.
We're homies, you know, like we, you know, like having like a close relationship, but it is always awkward of like, kind of going to some people that you're cool with and being like, hey, can you give me some different, you know, kind of like permissions than most people have?
Yeah.
But I think now we're at a point where it's a little bit more easier.
Well, and especially because like they know, and I think we try to be pretty transparent about like, yeah, exactly to your point. Like, hey, we're just trying to get easier access around the event to make content. We're not trying to get special goods. Like we're not trying to get whatever you're dropping or releasing or anything like that ahead of it, or you to hold us a pair or anything like that. We're just going because like getting coverage of this event is good content for us and it's good for y'all as well. So it's like, you know, it kind of benefits everyone. So yeah, I think we've definitely, I think that was the first real event that we went to and got really any sort of like at the event coverage for. And since then it's just gotten smoother and smoother every time.
Yeah, it's been a lot easier, but you know, it's all about just practice.
You got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
Let's see.
What a release to start.
And what a release. Exactly. Moving into April. So in April, this is still when we were doing the format of like recap the last month and then look forward to the next month. And we just really cherry picking a few. But in that one, when we looked back, what had released in March was the reimagined White Cement Jordan 3. So another big one, the Action Bronson New Balance Baklavas, just like March of last year really was so stacked. It's kind of crazy to think. Nicole McLaughlin. We always love it.
Yo.
But then the April releases, the New Balance Beneath the Surface pack. Oh, okay. The kind of outdoorsy looking ones. And then the Travis Scott Jordan 1 Low, the olive. Yeah. So like good releases, but nothing that ended up, I think, being like super memorable for later in the year.
Yeah.
And then also did this episode. Yeah, this came out later in April. Union collabs. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I caught reading the descriptions also in there.
Yeah.
And I forgot where it says you have, you know, we talk about Nike's quality control and how to raise your credit score and how Tanner thought Ryan was following lewd IG accounts.
Yeah.
Was it the TikTok?
It was the Nicole. It was Nicole McLaughlin on Instagram.
Yes.
She had posted. She had done a post about, I want to call it Oakley, but I don't think it was Oakley. I thought it was like workwear or something, not like Carhartt, but something like that. That basically she had took some tool belt and reworked it into a bikini. And you saw that I had liked it from the Shoe Podcast account. And you just, on your personal account, opened up Instagram and didn't see who had posted it, but just saw this bikini and you saw Shoe Podcast liked it. And you were like, yo.
On the alt account? On the pod?
And then we ended up talking about it on the podcast and made a reel about it. And posted that reel. Yeah, that was a funny one.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
You're right.
Like, man, what an easy out though to get away with that.
It was the Shoe Podcast account.
That wasn't me. That must have been
whoever's logged into that thing. It must have been
Shoe Podcast.
Whoever's logged into that thing, I don't even know. Yeah,
it was Shoe Podcast.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then it looked like the following week was kind of a kitchen sink episode. Union LA collabs, reimagined Bread Jordan 4s, and sneaker NFTs, which was Artifact. Nothing particularly exciting about now. I've been wondering all night, what are you sipping on there? It looks like Baja Blast, but I doubt it is.
Okay, it does. It makes you feel like Baja Blast.
I'm having a Baja Blast drinking it, I'll tell you right now. Yeah.
So it's not as neon because it's the LED.
Oh, sure. Put it on the light.
It's not this neon-y. I don't know if I go closer if you get a better look. You don't.
Okay.
It's Gatorade.
Really? Okay. What flavor? Yeah. Hey, for YouTube, that's Gatorade. Okay, got it. Understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
Gatorade.
I mean, there is Gatorade in there.
Yeah. Is that the cucumber mint flavor?
No, that was.
I know you've talked about that flavor. I was just wondered.
Yeah. No, this is like a tropical. This is more like a.
Okay.
It does taste like a real fruit juice, like pineapple juice, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
But I am Baja blasted off.
Hell yeah, my brother. Cheers. This is water, by the way.
Carbonated, still or flat? Still or
flat. Oh bubbly. Boy, putting I've never thought about putting sparkling in one of these. That feels wild. Because I feel like when you close it and it makes that seal, I'd be waiting for it to pop like a film canister, you know?
That's what people have been posting. They have those water bottles and they get into an airplane. They go up and they open it.
Can confirm it does that. Yeah. If you're on a plane, what you want to do, you want to, instead of opening at the top, right, you want to twist it like that, crack it, break the seal and depressurize it. If you just pop the lid, it will 1000% shoot all over your lap and you'll look like you peed yourself. Ask me how I know.
Person next to you? Been
there. Nope. Person is me. I'm the person. I'll tell you right now. I've flown that flight too many times. Yep.
So it did a full on geyser moment, or more of like a
not to like the ceiling, but enough to it'll definitely shoot out, you know?
Yeah. Now I'm like, what is the top of a plane called?
That's why I struggled so much, because it's where like all the controls are, like the light and the vent and everything, but that doesn't feel like the ceiling. That's the
your pause.
Yeah.
Makes me now
you
think
felt,
that there's
you felt it in that moment of like, oh, I know what he's thinking, but I also don't know the word for it.
Yeah. That'll be a Google. What is the top of a plane called?
What do they call the top of the plane? Inside.
Yeah. Inside. Yeah.
Top of plane inside ? Not Boeing employee ... Please don't come for me.
I don't even know how to blow. Wait. Hold on.
Go ahead. We call this one the anniversary episode / the episode they couldn't monetize / they can't monetize anyways. But yeah, if we could, we would not be able to. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look at the next topic.
The 420 sneaker list.
Yeah.
420 sneaker tier list. That was a good one that we did.
I think so.
I'm kind of concurrently looking at them alongside on YouTube just to see how the videos did. But maybe once we get through the Google Doc, we'll switch over to YouTube and just look at thumbnails and views real quick, because that'll be kind of fun. Yeah.
I think that would be really fun. Yeah.
Good tier list there. Good shoes. We didn't run it back this year because I feel like doing 2 years in a row and we hit so many of the big candidates last year. They also didn't really have 420 releases this year.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I don't remember seeing any big.
I don't think there really were that many. So, shoe industry, explain yourself.
Nike Dunk.
Yeah. Move it into late April, our first interview of the year with Stu from Politics. That was a great time.
Stu.
Always good to catch up with him. You know.
Yes.
Love his work so much. So it was nice to finally have him sit down and chat with us for a while.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Love Stu.
Yeah. It's always funny. I love when we have like the photographers, videographers do the interviews with us, especially the ones where Houston's helping out. Because the whole time they're sitting there looking at like the whole setup and everything like that, right? Like they're just peeping the equipment. They're like, okay, you're going to key light from that side. Okay. That's a choice.
Yeah.
That's a choice.
Yeah. And what are you shooting on?
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's not bad.
If it works for you, works for you. Yeah.
No. I think it's great for this.
Yeah.
I think it's great for this.
I should clarify we're doing a bit right now. Stu was not talking down our rig the whole time. Yes.
This is very much a place of anxiety. This is very much a place of I am interviewing somebody who does this for a living with exceptional equipment.
Yeah.
And it's always funny because that's how, like, as soon as Ryan's putting it on, he goes, no, this is just great, super easy, just vlog style.
Yeah.
Like very much like we immediately start just being like, no, that's that. I don't know.
I don't even know what that is. Yeah. I've never seen that in my life.
Yeah. So, Houston knows everything.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan knows a good amount. And then I'm sitting here being like, I don't even know how.
Yeah.
I'm literally sitting here being like, I don't think I have unwound these cables properly.
My favorite thing every time is whenever we wrap up an interview and I go, hey, would you mind just getting the microphones off the stands? And you come to me sometimes with a handful of parts and you're like, I don't know what happened.
Yep. That is for literally one of the last interviews we did.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what I did.
I don't know what I did,
everything.
but this is in pieces now. Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw, I put it back together. I don't think I did it right.
You get there.
It hasn't fallen off.
There you go. Knock on wood.
So, yeah, no. For the setup and tear down, I'm just moving bags around, essentially.
You're doing great.
Bags over here.
You do.
You know, I'll go over here. I'm like, I don't really remember where things go, and I don't know how to put them together or take them apart. So I'm like, hey, look, once that little umbrella looking thing comes off the light, I'm on it, dude.
Tag him in. He knows how to take the softbox apart. That's right.
I'm freaking on it, dude.
That's funny.
Anything else? Don't ask me.
Don't ask him. Yeah.
Don't look at me.
Let's see. After the Stu interview, moving into May, we did another sneaker releases episode. Nike SB Doritos Dunk Lows, Action Bronson New Balance Lapis Lazuli, the Airship Every Games. Ugh. You remember? You listen. I don't have to say it again. That was a year for me. That was a year for me. Yep. I'd say those were probably the biggest ones from there. I do forget we talked about I used to, when we would write the episode descriptions for the sneaker release months, it would always be like, we talk about the sneakers that come out this month and fast forward to the ones coming out this month. We also talk about, and then there's 3 topics, right? And I just picked 3 random tangents that we went on. So we also talk about going to the beach, changing the flavor of capitalism, and wet ankles versus wet toes.
I don't remember that.
I kind of miss, that's the thing, is that like, I kind of miss it because it's fun to look back on and be like, wow, who knows where we went in that one. Yeah.
Wet ankles versus wet toes.
That was because of that one. I do know the Bodega Crocs are the ones that had the shroud on them. And so we would talk about like your feet would stay dry and you were like, well, no, not really, like just your toes, but like they still have holes in them. And so it was a whole thing. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Speed coupons.
Yep. They won't know what that means and neither do we. So let's moving past that first week of May, a Nike episode, Nike's woes from leaks to releases. Oh, this is when someone leaked them and the Nike SB account finally decided to get spicy in the comments. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, doesn't that suck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now looking back, I'm like, doesn't it suck to fire 1,000 people? But
y'all were pretty quiet when that came around. Yeah.
Mad quiet on that one.
Yeah. And then that was also when the Lost and Found Jordan 1s had a botched release, and then they published a statement on that. Yeah, which is wild. But anyways, and then we did our anniversary again.
Hey.
And that was our 150th episode. That's kind of cool.
And that's cute. Cute.
And then moving into late May, our interview with Trey at Full Court New Orleans. Not only a great interview, a lot of laughs in that one, but big milestone for us. First interview without Houston there. That was a big one.
Wow, that's true.
That was the first time we were like, okay, Houston's not available. Let's see if we can do this on our own. And we did. We did it. We got by. You know, there's a noticeable difference in the quality, but it's still good. I stand by it, you know?
I agree. That was the first one. Wow, I do forget about that one.
Yeah. So
that was, wow. Look at us.
Yeah.
Growing.
And now here we are. Hey, look at us. It's like the Paul Rudd hot ones.
Scared to do without Dad. Much prefer
when he's doing
there. Doing a project with Dad. 1,000%. I can do it. Like I've
held the drill before. Yeah.
I can put the cork board onto the wall.
Yeah.
But just,
so much easier.
It's going to go easier with Dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
think I still laugh thinking about that interview sometimes. One of my favorite parts is when he talks about how his dad, I think, sent him to the mall with money to buy pants for school, and he got like the Girl Skateboards DVD. That story I still laugh thinking about.
The real punishment. No pants for school.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck.
Hey. Well, we came up.
Yeah.
Okay, we came up on the DVD.
Yeah.
No, that was great. That was a really fun one. I loved I guess like before, and just how much like Trey going through his own shop to be like, okay, hold on, do I want to wear this? Do I want to put that?
Yeah,
I was like,
styling.
What a sick moment to just see you just be like, okay, what am I going to tie in with this?
Shop around real quick, yeah.
Yeah. And then I got a shirt from there that I wear pretty regularly.
There you go, Trey.
Yeah, and great prices, full court classic.
Yeah, love it.
Gotta go back out there.
Yeah,
gotta go back out, see Trey.
Anytime you're in the quarter, go stop by Humidity, go stop by Full Court.
Go get fashioned.
Moving on into June, surprise, surprise, another sneaker releases episode. If you haven't noticed the theme, we do them at the beginning of every month here. Yeah, it's Tiana Taylor and Jordan 1. Not really something we still talk about here. The Bodega New Balance 610s, though, that was a good one.
That was solid.
And the Jordan 1 washed black. Wow, this was still when I'm trying to find the point at which we stopped like preparing for the sneaker release episodes and just started scrolling the calendar. But we used to put so much work into them.
Yeah,
I look at it now.
Basically,
yeah.
I like the format now.
Yeah, me too.
Very chill.
You can tell though,
still good though.
Still a good one, yeah. You can tell though, looking at the episode descriptions, starting to get a little bit lazier on these. Short episode description. We also discuss whether or not it's okay to buy Adidas and Yeezy product and our stance on buying fakes. Not as funny. That's pretty. That's good, but not as funny. Yeah.
Hey, getting towards it. It was hot. Okay, that was a hot summer. All right, inside.
Listen,
it's June.
Yeah, we got better things to do.
My AC's breaking.
My AC's breaking, and so is my spirit.
So, dear God.
A YouTube live where we went back to the slide and clog tier list to add another. What is that? Maybe 12 shoes to it. Those are always a good time. The tier lists are a fun time. We haven't done one yet this year, so we need to find one to do.
Yeah, we definitely. It's just tough, I guess. Like you said, not doing something that we've already done.
Well,
and just kind of add to it.
I'll tell you right now, we can go back to this plenty of times. The slide and clog tier list. That is our at least last I checked, our most popular video on YouTube. And maybe I'll pull up the stats. It's done more in the last. No, the first one we did was in 2022. So it's done more in the last 2 years than it did in the first year. For some reason, it picked up out of nowhere. In like recent weeks, it's been our most viewed video.
Hey.
And we released it like 2 years ago. I don't understand the algorithm, but good on us. Yeah. So
just click subscribe.
You know what I mean? Just go ahead and do it. Late June 2023, halfway through the year, best sneakers so far. Hit me real quick with your honorable mention 3, 2, 1.
Gotcha.
And then give me your take on the whole list. How does it still hold up?
Okay. So halfway through the year, I got the women's Jordan 4 oil green as an honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Dunk Low black suede.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. Nike Dunk Low rainbow trout as number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And my number 1, the Bodega New Balance 610 Trail Less Taken. I love my list.
Stand by it.
Stand by it. I mean, my number 1 for the year was the Trail Less Taken.
Yeah.
I still think that's a great shoe. It is fantastic. I loved and still do love the rainbow trout.
Good one.
I love the pattern on it. I love the little fish hook.
Mm-hmm.
I really like it. The Dunk Low black suede, honestly, looking back on it now, probably would not either be in my list or I would switch it. Okay. I really like the Jordan 4, the oil green.
Yeah.
I think maybe biggest hot take is I like the oil green more than the Jordan 4 SB.
You know what's funny
pine green
is that looking back on the oil green, I kind of like that color blocking with the black accents on it more than just the plain white and green Jordan 4 SB. I remember at the time, I think not agreeing with you on it, but now kind of like looking back, I'm like, dang, that does look kind of just like clean and simple, you know?
Yeah, I really like it. I think I like more of a very like naturey green. And that one definitely has like a very like mossy,
I get that.
Kind of green to it. So I think that's probably why I was drawn to it a little bit more than the pine green, which is more of like a kind of like a crayon, like your out of the
Kelly
box green.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I think I like my list. My 1 and 2 for sure.
Stand by it.
Yeah, I stand by that list. What about you? Run me through it.
Honorable mention, the Kith Clarkson Adidas pack. Third place, the Air Max 1 Big Bubble. Second place, the Nike Airship Every Game. No surprise. There was a 3-month stint there where you did not hear me stop about those. And number 1, the Steve Harrington and Leaning Palm Tree Copper Patinas, which still have never released, but I stand by if that shoe comes out, I'm going to go run and buy it.
It is a crazy looking shoe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So cool.
Really want
it is very
that,
cool.
But so at this point, it still has not released. Sorry, I'm just looking to the side here and wondering, does the video feed look like a little laggy to you or not really? I guess it looks like a little slow, but
there was a moment right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Where it kind of like had a little skip catch.
I know this is a little bit breaking the fourth wall to stop and talk about. And to be fair, at this point, 30 minutes in, it's not like we're going to restart this episode. So
yeah.
If you're hearing this, we went with it. But anyways, speaking on my list, I think I pretty much stand by it. At this point, we did not know about the undefeated Nike Air Terra Humaras at the end of the year, so I couldn't have known about it. Those Steve Harringtons, I still want them to come out. I would still buy that shoe. The Airship Every Games, I've cooled down on. But Big Bubbles and Kith Clark's Adidas pack, I stand by it.
Do you like where
the ranking
where you have everything slotted? Yeah.
Probably I would switch Big Bubble and Airship Every Game is really the one move I would make, because I just wear the Big Bubbles all the time. But
that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, I
cooled down on the Every Games since then.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hey, great list.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great
Thank
list.
you. Moving into July, another sneak releases. Nike Zoom Vomero 5 have a Nike Day. The Air Hirachi Runner. Speak on it, my guy.
Love it. Everyday shoe.
Yeah.
Everyday shoe right there.
Adidas Shmoo Foil Gray. Some slip-ons that look like Vans that we thought were interesting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The Born and Raised Nike SB Dunk Lows. Those ended up really, having a different story behind them, I would say. And then a handful of GRs that in hindsight look good, but, have come and gone. We haven't really thought about since, I would say.
Yeah, no.
The
90s are pretty good, though.
The description for this one you're going to like. We also talk about going to urgent care, the movie Blade, and taking care of your pets in the summer heat. That's a good one. That's that's very on brand for us, of like,
that is
of like,
good.
Here's a little bit of practical, but here's also the movie Blade, because we don't talk about it enough.
Take care of your pets, take care of you. And, Wesley Snipes kind of did a thing.
He remember when the blood came from the sprinkler system? That was something else. Yeah.
Hell, that was nuts. You remember whenever he saw the laser pointer on him, but then the bad guy had the laser pointer already on him?
Yeah. Now we're just doing Blade spoilers here, but yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm watching Blade.
You should. You
think they're gonna remake Blade?
Or
do we let a legend live?
Just let it live. Let it breathe,
Yeah. I think the lore, not the lore, but I think like the allure of Blade is also kind of the time that it was shot in.
The era.
I think you do it now.
Yeah, I get that.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Also, shout out Ness, just because anytime I think of Blade, for some reason, I think of Ness.
She's got a brand. She's got a brand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Best 100 sneakers of the last decade. I think you had found an article about that. And so I think we just kind of scrolled through that and talked about it. It was a good time. It was a fun time.
Yeah. Oh, State of the Union?
Yeah, I think that's what we are. It was like a This Week in Sneakers sort of thing. So we talked about the Adidas Crazy Infinity. That was a big shoe that had a moment there for a bit.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
This one, honestly, I'm kind of looking at that. Very much Anthony Edwards. I feel like I'm seeing a lot of
some similarities in the overall shape of it. I could see. Yeah.
Yeah. Not a whole lot, but enough.
1000% a Tanner section here labeled "Welcome to the Rumor Rampage." That's a great segment there. That's a great bit.
Thank you.
And then we talked about the Kith Marvel and Asics Gel Light 3-pack. Good little This Week in Sneakers episode.
Oh man,
the Wolverine colorway.
That Kith and that pack was just so cool.
It was crazy good.
Just a fun, just fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that they just we both can't talk enough about how much.
Can't say enough good things. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, how they're just so pretty.
Moving into what month are we now in? August. Why are people still buying Yeezys? I think what we thought would be a pretty casual, quick episode ended up really taking off in the views there. Turns out Yeezy's still very popular to talk about, you know?
Yep. So yeah, it's we'll see what so his new brand?
His new venture?
There you go. Venture.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep us at somewhat of a level of like, can we have fun, but can we not get the episode shadow banned on YouTube? Yes. I've seen his latest venture. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. There we go. Sneaker releases in August 2023. That was when we abandoned our usual format and said, we're just going to scroll through the release calendar. So
yeah,
it's working out. I'm having a good time.
And August, the hottest.
Listen, when it gets hot outside, the effort on the podcast goes down a little bit. I'm sorry, everyone.
When every other day you're breaking heat records, you
listen. We gotta. I can't spend too much time prepping this podcast. The more time the computer's running, it's getting hot in here. It's already hot. Yeah.
I don't want to stress out my condenser.
Exactly. Would we wear the shoes from our childhood? That was a fun, kind of goofy episode.
Yes. That was a very
just kind of a silly topic that kind of came to mind, but I liked it. That was I thought like a fun, like novel idea for an episode, you know?
Yeah, I agree. That was I liked it.
Building our ultimate hype beast Jordan collections. Another fun episode because we had the little visuals for it in real time. Yeah.
Getting our little mood board.
What is it? This is mid-August. So maybe the heat had the adverse effect where it was like, okay, we're inside all the time. We got some time to think about some episodes.
Creativity.
Here, exactly. Yeah.
We just redirected
in a different way. Then end of August, back with an interview, the one, the only DJ Hennessy. What a great time. That was a real fun one.
Yes. That was a great one.
His story of hitting Jennifer Hudson with a speaker at Essence Fest is probably, again, just another one of those stories. Okay, here's a behind the scenes that maybe we didn't talk about that much, and this would probably be fun to do for each interview or something like that we can remember. After we wrapped the interview with him, we're on his end of town. I will say we wrapped the interview and we're like, hey, do you want to grab a bite to eat? He's like, yeah, we should go to KOK Wings. And we were like, perfect. We haven't been to the Baton Rouge spot yet. So we go and we order and we sit down and we're at the table. He turns to us. He's like, man, I thought y'all were going to ask me why they call me DJ Hennessy. And we looked at each other and we're like, oh my gosh, how did we forget to ask you why they call you DJ Hennessy?
Yeah. I was like, I remember just sitting there and be like,
That would have
been
great to open with, man.
That would have been a great question.
Yeah.
I know we just wrapped, but
yeah.
How about
do you want to go set it all back up?
Yeah. No, yeah. That was great. I remember, that was that day I had bought the Hirachi runners.
That's right. Yeah.
And then I'd had a conversation. We were talking with Henny and he had said that his girlfriend was really into Travis Scott, and I had a long conversation with him about how I almost exclusively do lawn work to Travis Scott.
Oh, right.
I don't know why. I have tried venturing to other things, but I, at some point in mowing the lawn, stumbled back on to just listening to Travis Scott. And I was like, I don't know what it is. I don't know why my brain has matched those two things, but it did.
He gets it was great. Every time.
And then, just casually sitting on his speakers at his in his house is the unreleased.
Yep.
Yeah, for the politics
and Ultra
Boost, which
he's sitting there. He lined up just stacks of heat next to him for the interview to be by his feet. You got on your new shoes and I'm sitting there in some Pumas and I'm like, what am I doing sitting on the couch with these two guys? I should not be in this shot right now.
Yeah, but he also was like, yo, those Pumas are sick. Whenever you told him the collab, he was like,
the tie-in.
Yeah, he was like, well, that is pretty perfect. So I was like, yeah. I did feel good. My new shoes. It's always good. It's always good whenever you buy a fresh pair of shoes.
And shout out Henny, he connected me with John Anthony, the guy from Baton Rouge who designed his own sneakers as well. And we ended up linking up later in the year to do an unboxing video. So worlds colliding right there, everybody. Moving into September, another sneaker releases episode. See, now it's going to get short to recap them because it's like, I have no notes. We talked about shoes.
We talked about things in September, so Google it.
Late September. This is so funny. I don't remember so many of these. Does the story make the sneaker? I remember the thumbnail for this one, but this is a good topic though. Like this was probably a good discussion, just like a good solid episode.
I think so. I think this is something that I know for sure me and you talk about.
Plenty.
And that we have talked about just based on the level of storytelling that you appreciate in a shoe. And I know a lot of times I've kind of talked to you about those, or you've kind of talked about
kind of. You can't get this man to stop talking about a story. That's all I'm getting at.
Of like, hey, I kind of really just I wanted the shoe just based on the story.
Yeah.
Like, am I super into the colorway or the silhouette? Maybe not, but the story really got me hooked. And I always thought that I think there are a lot of people who probably share, I think, the same thought process as you of like, do I really care about the actual look of the shoe and want to wear it? Not really, but let me tell you what, it's a great piece to just talk about, and then everything that went behind it.
And I've definitely cooled off this year on like, I can really appreciate that and really like that and talk about it on the show. That doesn't mean I need to buy it and own it, because to that point of like, there's pretty much a lot of what's behind me is a lot of like, I like the story and it's Louisiana based. So that's why it's here, even if I'm not going to wear it. But outside of like the Louisiana connection now, it's like, if I'm not going to wear it that much, I'd rather just like appreciate it, give it its moment here on the podcast. But then like, I don't need to spend my money and then get it to wear it like twice and then turn around and sell it on GOAT in 2 years when I'm not wearing it.
Well, I think also your shelves being full.
Yeah.
Or like eating before grocery shopping.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
You're not hungry. So you're not going to, you're just coming here for what's on the list. Shelves are, you got a couple spaces on the shelf.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would look pretty on a shelf.
It would be. It's worse that it's empty. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the good thing I always say about having full shelves is that like, if I want to pick something up, something has to go. And that's a great way to tell if you really like something. If it's like, is this so much better than something I have that I'm not wearing? Yeah.
Good point.
Let's see. Interview with Daniel Barousse in late September. That was a great one as well. That was our second time doing one without Houston. Also a real good time, man. Daniel's one of those people that like, I feel like I could talk to for like 2 hours and just like still just barely scratch the surface,
100%. I mean, it was crazy. Just everything he kept saying just about his experience, his life, and getting from one place to the next. No, he is a unbelievably creative person.
Yeah.
And what I thought was so like what had me hooked with talking with Daniel was, I don't know how difficult this is, but I feel like it's not a big personality trait you see of somebody who is so like artistic and unbelievably like crazy creative. And having kind of that more like very free mindset, but also someone who is like so very like business oriented and organized that like it is crazy how intense I think both half of his brains are of like can see literally just this raw material, this kind of scrap thing, and create something very iconic with it. And then also have this very like businessy mindset of making these connections, talking with a city to shut down a downtown street, so like it was, that was just the thing that I was just so taken back with Daniel. So I'm like, it usually I feel like when you excel so much at one of those things, you don't really have that other area. And talking with him, I was like, oh yeah, you literally have every aspect of this covered. And then being able to go to the Bruce Works was just that was such a great
Killer
day.
time.
Beautiful day
Gorgeous
outside.
weather.
Great weather.
Yeah.
And then just to see some great guys skating, to see the community come out and support it in droves. It was, that was a great day. That was a fun day.
Yeah. I think the only thing that I was nervous about talking to Daniel was that I was afraid I was going to get so inspired from talking to him that I'd be like, I'm going to quit my job and do the podcast full time. I was like, that's the only thing I'm nervous about is I think like if there's anyone that could sell me on like, you should just be doing the podcast full time, it'd be him.
Daniel.
And I'd be like, yeah, I believe you. I actually probably should be. So that's my only fear, but thankfully
2 weeks in right now.
Yeah. No, my employer, if you're listening, no. And then, all right, so moving along, sneaker releases in October, Halloween sneakers tier list, which I'll give you a little early spoiler alert. I think our most viewed episode on YouTube from season 5. That one just really took off. The people love a tier list. Yeah.
Hey, I love doing it. They're very easy and so fun. It's just such a laxed conversation where you can, I really do. It's the closest to not filming us just recklessly talking about shoes when we're doing a tier list. I think is why I like it so much.
My favorite point is when we inevitably and everyone hit that point where we go into it when we say we don't really have like a lot of like rules or criteria of like what makes something go where until we get to where like you want to put something in A tier and I want to put it in D tier and you're like, so what makes it a D tier? And I'm like,
yeah.
Well, it doesn't really hit the theme, but it's a good shoe. And you're like, so should that be a good shoe? And I'm like, no, it just doesn't work like that. And you're like, but what about this other one you said that for? I'm like, it's different in my head and I can't tell you why.
There is inevitably a point in the tier list where it becomes
we don't see eye to eye. Yeah.
Two best friends just having a silly thing to, are they fighting right now?
Are they fighting? And it's like, we don't have to agree on it, but we do actually, because it can only go in one spot. Yeah.
Yeah. That is always funny. When we hit that, there is always one point.
Yeah. Late October, our favorite vacation shoes. Sure. I think that's what it was. My wife and I were about to go on vacation. And so I was like, oh, I'm starting to pack. I'm thinking about what shoes I might bring. I don't think we've ever really talked about this. That was a good one. Just a fun little chat. November sneaker releases. Interview with Lavish Life. Shout out Harold and John over there. Thank you for letting us into the shop.
That was a great one.
That was a real good time. That was one of those ones that, like we went longer than we would typically go for, but it was like, we should just keep going because we're having just like a good time chatting.
No. Yeah. That was a great, go into their shop, just expanding it. And they were so fun to talk to. Very chill, extremely like humble dudes. And it was just great to talk and to see, I guess you see like the fake influencers a lot online of like, kind of like during that COVID era of, like you can really do it,
Yeah.
If you buy my $500 course, I'll teach you how to do whatever, and just to hear them kind of go from that kind of mindset of like, hey, we could probably do something, to seeing where they got to. Yeah. And hearing that story to hit those beats was just such a very cool thing. And I think a great timing of those interviews, because also having like Daniel's interview of like, wow, really, if you want to do something, you can. It
turns out you can just do it. Yeah.
And you can kind of get pretty successful doing it, So it's like, man, do I? Am I?
I might want to. I think my favorite story from that interview was John talking about when he was working at the car dealership, but they were starting to build up Lavish Life. And so he'd be like borrowing trucks on his lunch break to get lumber and load it up and bring it there. That's too funny.
Yeah. Hey, we give him a shout out.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's a behind the scenes story from that one that we didn't talk about. Or like, I know we told one from Henny's. I'm trying to think if there's one from Daniel's as well, of like sort of behind the scenes. Okay. I have one from Daniel's that
Okay.
You could probably tell if you're watching it. When we got to the end of the episode and we started wrapping up and saying goodbye, I think Daniel thought the angle was just going to be on us, or forgot that maybe there was video and it was audio only. So normally when we end our interview episodes, right, and we're saying goodbye at the end of it, it would be the wide shot. But we get to the end, Daniel gives all his shout outs, and then, you know, the two of us are just like shouting out our socials and say where you can find us all. He pulls out his phone and he's on his phone checking something. So like the edit at the end just kind of like abruptly cuts to the two of us, but it's the two of us from the wide shot because we're looking at the camera to deliver it. And I remember in the moment saying the outro and being like, I'm going to have to figure out how to edit this one. That was a funny one, I remember. Lavish Life's, I'm trying to think if there's like a funny story from there. So much of this is just like, it feels like it was forever ago, but
I'm trying to think of anything that was.
I remember just laughing a lot with the guys while we were there, just like hanging out and chatting and stuff. But
the cool thing was just seeing all like the in the glass stuff, just kind of chatting with them about that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what, talk about hospitality. Because then after the shoot, they went and got us something to drink afterwards. So like real hospitality, like they were great guys. Or maybe it was before. I think it was before while we were setting up. I don't remember, but they were just unbelievable hospitality between them.
So let's see. Moving into December sneaker releases. No surprise there. Best Christmas sneakers tier list. Another good time there.
Hitting the
peaks. Sneaker of the Year 2023 awards show. This is, you want to talk about like we had some time to prepare for it. We went all out with the visuals and everything like that.
Oh yeah.
It was our first time doing the award show where in past years, right, we break Sneaker of the Year out into like 3 categories, which this year it's not going to be more than 2. I don't know if it might even get down to just 1 this year because it feels like a lot to do Sneaker of the Year twice even, you know, but the award show, the tuxedo t-shirts, that was a real good time. I don't know that we've got time now to go through our entire list here and be like, how do you feel like everything stood up?
Well, let's just hit the maybe. So like most overhyped, I had the Mischief boot. I think let's
see.
Looking back, I don't know if I see maybe overhyped, maybe just it was a big social media buzz.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like overhyped in the sense that it was something not great and people were like, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think looking back on it now, people were definitely more of it's a meme. It's like it's a bit rather than I really want this shoe. I think the people who were like, I really want the shoe were more in the minority.
Yeah. Agreed.
But I saw it all the time. So
yeah.
I wanted to stop seeing it.
Nike SB Jordan 4. I kind of stand by. I think I've come to appreciate it a little bit more now that it's cooled down and like you don't see it too much. And like, it's a good, clean shoe, but I also don't think it was Sneaker of the Year. Like, I don't think it was revolutionary and groundbreaking.
Oh, that's good.
Go ahead.
Slept on? Yes.
Yeah.
Trail less taken. 100%. I agree.
Nike Dunk Low Trout, I stand by as well. You still don't really see that too often, but great shoe with a lot of good details.
Yeah, I think a really good looking shoe.
Most innovative? Probably a category we could have dropped. You know, like at the time we weren't even crazy excited about it, but we'd already done the research and the work for it, I think. So yeah.
Nicole
McLaughlin, focus on your end. Yeah.
Anytime I can stand Nicole, I'm gonna stand Nicole. I think I even just mentioned that in there of just like, I think I legitimately
just
like I just love
did it. Yeah.
I just love Nicole McLaughlin, and I think she's great.
Best collaboration.
I'm on year 5. I think so. I agree with that. I don't know. I think maybe not looking back, I might just agree with yours.
Kith, Asics, and Marvel.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I put it in most slept on. In hindsight, well, it's not how I felt at the time, but now, undefeated Nike Air Terra Humara. You know, at the time, I think it had just been announced, and so it was still kind of new, and I was just like, oh, this is kind of cool looking, but like, man, I obviously really took to love that shoe. So like now, that's the one that I'm like, yeah, I would have put that there instead.
Okay.
Best retro?
Reimagines. Sure.
Jordan 3 White Cement Reimagined for you?
Yeah. which I mean, I think okay.
Yeah.
Probably maybe would go Big Bubble, just kind of seeing the craze that it's gotten into.
Yeah.
And seeing a little bit of different colorways of it being used.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Big Bubble
I
probably actually now.
Yeah. I stand by Air Max 186 Big Bubble. Favorite shoe you got this year?
Runner. Easy.
Yeah. The Nike Air Huarache runner.
Oh.
I'm giving the long names for our even our watchers. They can't see our agenda and our listeners.
Very
so
true. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Huarache runner. Wearing it every day. It's getting a little there's a little bit, I may have just gotten a weird one. The quality of it holding up is not as good as the other Huaraches that I've had. Nothing major, but some separation of like that outsole.
Okay.
But it also could be, it's like the exact same spot on both feet, so it could just be the way like my feet are like done. Also getting some sometimes whenever I go to like sit down or something like that, it gives very like fart noises. So my shoes be fine.
Sure. It's the shoes. Sure.
Yeah.
I
can replicate it.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. I believe you.
Until someone asks. And
right. For some reason. That's how it always goes. Yeah. And then they stop.
No.
Yeah.
Your shoes don't stink?
It smells? Oh, wow. That's so weird. Yeah.
I think it's your brain. It hears it.
Favorite shoe I got this year? Yeah, Ruckus New Balance Numeric Voodoo Doll. Stand by it. Worst sneaker,
Solid.
Biggest disappointment?
Billy, yeah, for sure. I stand by mine. Billie Eilish's shoes. I think specifically I had the Nike Air Alpha Force, the Fire Reds. But you pick up Billie Eilish shoe and I think they're terrible.
I'm fine with that being a bad shoe and a disappointing shoe, but I think I stand by Joe Freshgood's New Balance Stuntman 650 being more disappointing than that. I think there's a bad to disappointment factor.
Oh my god,
the Stuntman 650 disappointment factor, right? Because it's Joe. Like Joe's the one to do it, and like, man, the potential they had for a story there, and just like feeling like if you can't go like, I don't want to say Chicago colorway with this, but that's like really like would have been the story of like, if you can't do that, then it's kind of like, is it worth doing this story, of like what could have been? And it's like an all white shoe. Okay. Feels like we didn't miss much then,
Yeah. These were the shoes. And it's like, well,
okay.
I'm kind of thankful they weren't.
Yep.
They didn't end up being the shoes.
Yeah.
This one is, I think the way you put it, I would probably be like, yeah, that is definitely
a disappointment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You had so much and
potential.
And did nothing with it.
You're a real dad. You're not mad. You're disappointed.
Ooh,
hurts more. I wish you were just mad at me, Dad. And then final episode of the year, the actual sneaker of the year 2023. You want to hit me real quick with your final list from honorable mentions to first place and your thoughts on the list as a whole?
Yes.
Go for
it. See. I'm not craning my neck. Let's see. Honorable mention, the Dunk Low Panda. I stand by it.
A big one.
I think that it is still a good shoe. It might have gotten mass produced, but it's still a good shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Third place, the Nike Lunar Rome, specifically the Alabaster. That might have been the only colorway
at that time. Yeah.
I think a absolutely clean looking shoe. I really, really love it. Second place, had it with the Ama Maniere Jordan 5. Just a chef kiss of that. Both colorways were fantastic. And then obviously hit it with my first place, my just absolute love. That is the Trail Less Taken. New Balance 660. 610, sorry.
Bodega New Balance 610. Yeah.
Just love my list. I think a great list.
Okay.
I love the honorable mention of the Panda. Like I said, it was good. It just got made a ton. Yes, they made it in every different variation, but that doesn't take away from just a good looking shoe.
Okay. I'm happy for you. I'm happy you stand by that list.
Thank you. 10 toes.
Okay.
All right. Hit me hit me with the end. How did you finish 2023? What were your thoughts?
Honorable mention, the Mischief Big Red boot, because I wrote the description here that I know it's technically not a sneaker, but you talk about like what had the biggest moment in the sneaker space, it would be the Big Red boot.
It did have a moment.
Third place, the Ruckus New Balance Numeric Voodoo Doll. Second place, the Asics Kith and Marvel Capsule Collection. And first place, the Nike Air Max 186 Big Bubble. I'm here to tell you I don't stand by this list. I know, and it's not even 6 months since. I feel like now I'm now at the level where I can look back at this and say, and I knew it at the time, where I was like, I'm trying so hard to make a list that I think meets some predetermined criteria that I'm holding myself to for some reason, rather than just saying like, these are my 4 favorite shoes that came out this year, you know? Because I think I was trying to do a balance of like, if it's a sneaker of the year, it should have some impact on the space, and like it should be like,
sure,
if it's a collab, it should technically have both good storytelling and execution. And now looking back, I'm like, man, I just wish I'd put like 4 shoes that I like down as like, these are my sneakers of the year. Whatever, because I think that's how you approach it more so. And I think like I'm trying to be like too heady about it, of like what's really a sneaker of the year, what should really be considered for that. Yeah, what is a sneaker? So I think this year I'm gonna hopefully hold myself to being a lot more lax and just be like, nope, these are like my favorite things that came out. Like, I don't care if they're niche, I don't care if they're mass, I don't care if like a lot of people like them, I don't care if no one liked them. Like, this is just what I'm into. I'm gonna try to release my inhibition and feel the rain on my skin this year.
As you should. As you should.
Because no one else can feel it for you. That's right. That's right.
I think the only thing that I may have changed is adding the Asics Kith Marvel Capsule.
Yeah.
Just because
great collection.
I look back on it, I'm like, it was so fun. I thought the execution was fantastic. The pack is pretty dang good. So I think the thing that I think looking back of having the Amam Air Jordan 5 is I loved both colorways so good that literally if it was like you get one but you don't know which one you're getting, I would not care at all. Like I open it up, I'm like, this is a great, I may, do I want the dusk one? A little bit more, maybe, but I get either colorway. I get the black colorway, I get the white colorway. I'm through the moon. So I think that's what at the time I was really, really into. But I think looking back on it now, overall, I think kind of how like what you had just spoke on, that one is more fun to me.
Yeah.
And I don't think I was considering how fun that collab is. And I think had kind of that
fun, that
mindset of like, well, I would be more upset with this one rather than this one. So like, can I really consider it, when I'm looking at it? But I think now I'd be like, that one's more fun.
Y'all hold us to it this year. Y'all just hold us to having fun this year when we comes time to make those lists.
Please and thank you.
So before we go here, I do quickly want to go through our YouTube, because another notable point, last year we started doing the video version of the podcast at the end of 2022, which means that last year was the first full year that we did video episodes of the podcast as well. So I thought it would be kind of fun to go ahead and scroll through. Let's see if we got it pulled up here. We do. So it's going to be, reverse chronological, starting at the bottom here, and then we'll scroll up. You can also, I think it's fun to watch the progression of thumbnails, right? Going from here's the YouTube auto-generated one to like, we tried to make our own thumbnail, and I was like, I want us to be in there, but like, you can see like where it crops at the bottom, and I didn't put that below the thumb, just like these hard lines. I think it's fun to see the progression there. So you could see, there's some, new name, same podcast. We got sneaker releases, always big episodes for us of like upwards of like 100 views, which it's all relative. That's big for us. But last year was also not the first unboxing that we did, but the first year that we started doing unboxings, which, as you can tell, and we're not idiots, we know if we wanted to run a successful YouTube channel, we'd probably just be doing a bunch of unboxings. But we started doing unboxings as well. So there's the Air Max 1 Big Bubble.
My man cooked with that shot right there, dog.
Thank you. I'm trying to do a little something there.
And the little clickbaity, like on the thing.
He's trying.
It
Look,
worked.
There's the 420 sneakers, 229 views. I'm telling you, the sneaker tier lists are up there.
I love them.
Yeah.
There's
Stu. Sneaker releases in May. Nike's problems from leaks to releases, not high view count. I thought that was like the first good thumbnail I did, where I was like, okay, this one actually looks a little bit better.
Thumbnail.
Yeah.
That's a YouTube thumbnail right there.
The interview with Trey. Great view. Shout out Adam for letting us use that. Adam took that picture for letting us use that for the thumbnail, because it was the first one, right, we did without Houston. And so when we packed up and left, I was like, I forgot to get a picture of Trey for this whole thing. So thank you, Adam, for letting us use that. Secret releases in June. No thumbnail, YouTube auto-generated. Well, here and there. Dunklo Trout unboxing. Spider-Man Next Chapter unboxing. Best sneakers of 2023 so far. Who's that Pokemon? That's kind of cute.
It's good.
Secret releases in July. Best 100 sneakers of the past decade. No thumbnail there. Whoops.
Yeah. Well.
Sneaker leaks. Sneaker leaks from July 2023. I was like, did we do the same episode twice? Why are people buying Yeezys? There you go, upwards of 200. So people like that one. Best shoes of August. Question mark, because I remember that being kind of a questionable month. Oh, the Nike Zoom Vomero 5 Supersonics. That would be on my list for most slept on, or maybe like biggest regret that I didn't get a pair of those. I wish I had. They're like $400 now.
Key, y'all.
Only 90s kids would we wear the shoes from our childhood. Our ultimate hype beast Jordan collect. Yeah. Yes. Short episode. Interview with DJ Hennessy. Sneaker releases in September. Sneaker releases another big one.
Oh yeah.
Does the story make the sneaker? That's a cute thumbnail.
Very cute.
That's a funny one. There's the interview with Daniel. First picture, right? That like we took with a guest for it. So came out good. Sneaker releases again. Claim a Saucony unboxing. Highlights from the Bruce Works Invitational event coverage. Shout out my boy. He took that picture.
Ayo.
There it is. Halloween sneaker releases, 877 views. That
people
just took off our favorite vacation shoes. Trades and automobiles.
That's
the goofy thumbnails don't really perform as well, but we're just having fun with it, and they make us laugh the hardest. So that's why we do them. Yeah.
Yeah. In this, do you give the full ending monologue or just the director's cut
of what, from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
Yeah.
Full ending monologue.
You get the full ending.
Yeah. I forgot we also did the virtual vacation backgrounds on this episode. That's good.
Yes. Yeah.
Sneaker releases in November. The Politics and Adidas Samba unboxing. Shout out the guys over there for sending those over for us. Interview with Lavish Life. The Ruckus New Balance unboxing. Shout out the guys over there as well. That was a fun one. Sneaker releases in December.
Where I wore my hood up, or at least for the,
and we put them in the Winter Wonderland.
Yeah, look at that.
Yep. Best Christmas sneakers of 2023. Sneaker of the Year 2023 awards show. The Mendez by John Anthony unboxing. Shout out John.
Yeah.
And then the final sneaker of the year 2023. So there's the thumbnails. It was a fun first year on YouTube. I'm definitely liking the video episodes more than when we were just doing audio, and we especially got it down to a good way now to where like it's pretty easy for us to do. Like it doesn't take a ton of work and editing and everything like that.
One click, one stop shop.
But we've not yet talked about, and this is what I wanted to close on, the biggest moment from the podcast last year. So if you could guess, including just everything we did last year, episodes, unboxings, live events, just everything that happened, what had the biggest reach and reaction to it? Do you know?
Golly. I mean, I want to.
As soon as I show you, you'll know.
Biggest reach. I guess I'm trying to figure out kind of the direction that you're going with. I'm thinking, Ruckus, being, looking out for us, and how that was a very surreal moment.
Yeah.
Same thing with politics, with the song,
Mhm.
the Bruce Works, reaching out, being, talking with him about that. I don't know.
All great
So
moments.
many.
I should say, by the way, and we should take a moment to thank everyone who supported the podcast last year in any way, shape, or form. We greatly appreciate all of you. Y'all make this all so much more rewarding. For the past 5 years now, it's been crazy. But I am thinking more so in terms of like, had the biggest audience, had the most eyes on it.
I'm struggling.
Perfect. Let me set you up here. Last year, right, we also ventured more into short form content, tried to start doing more reels. We launched the TikTok, we did the shorts and everything like that. And we really tried to put effort into it of like, let's come up with an idea. Let's make something in the bedroom. Let's try to edit something. But then also, right, sometimes you're just out and about and you see something, you're like, let me just film that real quick for like a little funny moment. That'll be silly.
Yep.
I had this audio I've been sitting on for a while. Let me just go ahead and like, this is not going to be like a big thing, but like whatever. We need some more quantity. It doesn't have to all be quality.
Boom.
Here it is, everyone.
The explosion.
This is the biggest thing that we put out last year. I'm at this festival in New Orleans and I see some guy wearing these dunks, which at the time, I don't know what they are. They're made by a company called S&S, and they call them the Wildfire. I think they're called the Chirac specifically because it's the Chicago colorway. I see them and I'm like, these kind of look like some whatever fake shoes. And I've got this audio that says, what are those? I'm like, whatever. I'm gonna just like film this real quick. I'm already out and about. I'll throw the audio on it. I'll upload it tonight when I get home. Like that'll maybe be funny for something. It takes off. It takes off. You can't see it from this view, right? Of like on the screen. It won't say how many views this has, but it has 13,000 likes, which should tell you guys, right? We have, I think 1,500, no, maybe 1,200. I'm gonna check the note.
Subscribers.
We have 1,200 followers on Instagram right now. I'm gonna check the views real quick on my phone. Because this is one of those ones that just like you never know. 1.5 million. You want to talk about this, and this is just like the comedy of this whole thing of like, you can prepare, you can plan, you can try to make the best content all you want. It's going to be some random thing that you filmed on a whim that you thought, whatever, I just need something to upload, that ends up being the thing that takes off. But this also shot us from like 500, 600 followers to like 1,200. Like this really boosted our follower count. So
yeah, it was very divisive. I mean, as you can see, the comments
were lively. Yeah.
They were not a good amount of the comments were, which was very interesting because I mean, you can read the description. The audio is nothing crazy.
Yeah,
it is simply what are those?
Yeah, I do and like that.
Everyone acting insane that no one that you wouldn't know what this is, and I'm like, yeah, obviously I'm not going to know that.
I do. Yeah, it's so funny that like we never really, I think, have like publicly responded to like a lot of the comments here because a lot of it's been like, I'm gonna just leave it alone. I'm not really going to try to get involved. There's too many comments, right, to get involved into the back and forth. So it's funny that now, like 11 months later, we're like, it's time to weigh in on this topic. But it's some of the comments were funny of like, how do you guys call yourself a shoe podcast or you don't know about these? And I'm like, there's no way we could know about every custom. But then other people being like, wow, you got to be really pathetic to be like filming people in public. And I'm like, I didn't set up a tripod, right? I didn't set up light. I was like, no, it's just like a quick video. I don't know. The whole like leave people alone. And then people be like, wow, you're really worried about what other people have on their feet. And I'm like, well, yeah, we are a shoe podcast. That is like, that's our whole deal is thinking about what people have on their feet. Yeah.
Yeah. I am going to look. It was just interesting. I guess it's a custom made by somebody, so it's better than if someone just did a custom themselves. I think it is very interesting, just in general, of when it comes to shoes, and what you can get away with, what you can't get away, things like that.
Yeah. Low self-esteem, loser activity. The comments, the shoes are fire, people be jealous. I'm like, I promise you I'm not jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why aren't you responding? I think the funniest thing about this is that somewhere along the way we liked our own post, which is, I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to unlike it now. It's just funny, but
yeah. Hey, it's along there. I support it.
And then I think also at some point, the girl who's in this video that's sitting next to him commented on it. I was like, I'm the girl in this video and I'm not okay with just like, like people filming and stuff like this, and then posted it. And I think someone responded to a comment. I was like, no one knew this was you until you commented on it. Yeah. Like, this is me.
Like, very, very true.
Yeah. So this could be a whole nother 30 minutes that we go through here. But yeah, last year, big year as well. That's a great thumbnail. Checks over stripes. Try to do more short form content, both like clips from the podcast and then like just trying to actually like write and make little stuff like that. So there's the Nicole McLaughlin one. But anyways, yes, our biggest moment last year, through all the preparation, through everything we tried to do, some random clip from a festival that I thought, well, this will be good, so we'll have something to post. Oops, took off.
Oops, blew up. Hey,
Yeah.
And it is unfortunate because, like you said, we have a lot of great content that is very sneaker focused.
Yeah. The best thing that came of it is that SNS, the company that makes those, at some point ended up reposting the reel to their own account. And I think saying the caption, like, if anyone knows who the guy in this is, tag him in the comments. We want to send him a gift package. And he was stoked, right? The guy who was in the video.
Yeah.
I think at that point he was stoked. I don't know that he was necessarily stoked to be in the video, but he also, if I remember, didn't seem like incredibly bummed. I think he was just like, oh, this is weird and like dumb that y'all are doing this, which is like, yeah, it's fair.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I thought we were going to get like our usual 70 views on this.
Yeah.
I was not expecting 1.5 million views. So apologies that took off in the way that it did.
Yeah. But hey, you got a care package.
Apparently. Yeah. That's what we hear. So,
hopefully he did. Hopefully he got a nice one.
Well, there it is. I think, unless there's anything else you want to throw in here, but that's probably just about everything we can talk about.
I think we got it all.
Thank you all so very, very much for a wonderful, wonderful, fantastic 5 years. Hopefully y'all have been enjoying this season as well. I mean, so far already, we did merch. We've done virtual guests now. So we're already trying out some new stuff. We're always going to keep pivoting, We're always going to be switching up on you like that. If you made it this far in the video, you got to really be a fan of us to listen to us just reminisce about our own show for an hour plus here. But if you did, leave a comment, and we love you and we thank you. But leave a comment down below and let us know what is one of your favorite episodes or moments from season 5 of Shoe Podcast. You can find us online at shoepodcast.com, and you can catch us on all of our social medias at Shoe Podcast. If you want to continue the conversation with us, you can join our Discord. It will be linked down in the episode description below. Free to join, not a cook group, just a real good time with some friends that like talking about shoes. Once again, if you made it this far, please rate and review the show wherever you're listening. Subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. I think that's what we got. Tanner, what do you want to leave the people with for our 5th birthday party?
How you going to eat that cake and you didn't bring no gift?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your co-host, Ryan Landry.
I'm your co-host, Tanner Young.
Catch you next week with something else, I guess.
Bye.